All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to go on this pretty wild journey looking back at the last 20 years of the internet. We're going to explore how the very idea of what makes our creative work valuable has been completely flipped on its head.
Okay, so what if the rules of the internet were run by a government that you could actually choose to join? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel, right? A voluntary online government that gets to set its own rules for how we share and value stuff. But what if I told you this isn't science fiction at all?
You see, an idea just like this actually changed everything about 2 decades ago. And now, today, it's happening all over again. But this time, it's got a huge AI twist. This is really a story of 2 revolutions, one that happened then and one that's happening right now as we speak.
Now, to really get what's happening now, we have to rewind the clock. We've got to go back about 20 years. Because back then, under the surface of the early internet, there was this massive kind of invisible problem that was grinding creativity to a halt. See, back in the day, the internet's default setting was basically hands-off. Everything was automatically all rights reserved. You can think of it like a permanent red light on every single piece of content. If you wanted to use an image, a song, a snippet of text, you had to stop. You had to go track down the creator and get their explicit permission. It created what the legal scholar Lawrence Lessig called a copyright black hole, where just tons and tons of creative work was totally locked up, basically stifling innovation.
So the solution that popped up was this thing called Creative Commons. And instead of that permanent red light, it gave us a green light. The whole idea was a simple, but honestly a really powerful shift. It was moving from all rights reserved to some rights reserved. It gave creators a super easy way to just tell the world, hey, here's how you can use my stuff, how you can share it, how you can remix it.
Now, this wasn't just some new type of license. No, it was so revolutionary that a lot of people saw it as something way, way bigger.
Back in 2003, a Japanese legal scholar named Hideaki Shirata asked this incredible question. He looked at Creative Commons and didn't just see a tool. He saw the birth of a whole new form of governance for the internet, a voluntary system with its own rules, its own citizens, and its own infrastructure.
So this new government, it worked by pulling on 4 different levers, which fits perfectly with a framework from Lawrence Lessig. First, you had norms, those simple, easy-to-understand icons. Then you had the law, the actual legally binding contracts. The market, well, that was the internet itself. But the real game changer, the secret weapon, was that 4th force, architecture.
And this new government, it gave its citizens, the creators, a menu of rules to pick from. It's like a mix and match system. You could say, you have to credit me, or you can't use this for business, or don't change my work, or even, hey, if you make something new with this, you have to share it with the same freedoms. It was simple, it was modular, and it was incredibly powerful.
But let's get back to that secret weapon, the architecture, because this was the true revolution. The license wasn't just text on a screen, it was also code. It had this machine-readable metadata baked right in. And that meant, for the very first time, computers and search engines could automatically find, sort, and show you content that was totally free and legal to use. It just blew the doors off that copyright black hole and unleashed this massive wave of creativity.
So, Creative Commons totally nailed the problem of access. It worked. But you fast forward 20 years to today, and the internet has a completely new problem. One that calls for a whole new kind of government.
And that brings us right up to the present day. We're seeing a new system of governance being built right now as we speak, and this time, it's being led by artificial intelligence.
We can actually use that same 4 forces framework to understand this new world. The new norm is that unique, high-quality data is what's valuable. The law, that's the terms of service or participation agreement you click on. The market is the creator platform itself. But the most radical change, the one that changes everything, is the architecture. Because the code that's now judging what has value is the AI itself.
And this is the absolute core of it all. The AI has become the judge. In this new system, the AI isn't just a tool we're using, it's practically a self-governing entity. It's like a tribunal of reason, a term that really fits here. Because it's deciding what's valuable based on one simple thing, what helps it learn and grow. It sets its own law for its own purpose.
So what does this mean?
Well, it's created this huge fundamental shift in what we even consider valuable online. You could call it the Great Value Shift.
You know, while the old internet really valued popularity, how many clicks, how many views, this new system values uniqueness. An AI doesn't really need more common, generic information. It's seen that stuff a million times. What it truly craves, and what it rewards, is something called outlier intelligence.
So, what is outlier intelligence? Well, it's the information way out on the edges of the bell curve. It's the super niche expertise, the really personal experience, the unique perspective that an AI just can't make up on its own. This is the good stuff. It's the data that helps the AI fix its own blind spots and actually get smarter.
I mean, the shift couldn't be more clear. The old internet government valued one thing: getting human eyeballs on ads. The new AI government values something totally different: contributing unique knowledge to an AI's intelligence. We've literally moved from an attention economy to an intelligence economy.
So, what's the big takeaway for you? Why does any of this matter? Well, it means that all those niche interests you have, that deep expertise you've built up, your unique life experiences, they're not just hobbies anymore. They're actual, valuable assets in this new economy. Authenticity isn't just some buzzword. It has real, direct economic worth. You're not just making content anymore. You are literally contributing to the very intelligence of these AI systems.
Just think about that for a second. The most unique, most specific, maybe even the quirkiest parts of what you know, those are now the most valuable resources you possess. You're not just sharing a passion, you're providing the fuel for the next generation of intelligence.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. 20 years ago, a group of brilliant people deliberately and consciously designed a new government for the internet. Today, a new one is kind of emerging all on its own, with AI at the helm. So if AI is the new government, and we're its citizens, what kind of constitution should we be teaching it? One unique post at a time.